Welcome to my world history notes, where I read from the book I wrote to teach homeschoolers world history. A Bible believer looks at world history. Um, you can find it on lulu.com, amazon.com, the Bible Baptist bookstore, or just follow me here. It's a survey, it's not really deep, but you should know about these topics. Don't necessarily agree with my conclusion because it says a Bible believer looks at world history. So you're not going to agree with me necessarily, but you should be able to talk about these things and maybe dig and study deeper to find out things that interest you. I'm just kind of skimming the surface just for your general knowledge. Um, just so it's just a matter of you should be conversant in world history and have an idea of what I'm talking about. Have read it, and not just draw a blank when somebody mentions it. I think it will help you, especially when you're reading the Bible too. You do put the Bible in the context of world history. Um, but let's begin and talking about Western literature and architecture today. Durant says that Western Europe reached a pinnacle of art comparable to the golden ages of Athens and Rome in the 12th and 13th centuries. The Viking and Muslim raids have been defeated, and the Crusades created a burst of creative energy, bringing back many art forms from the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire and the Muslim world. Economies were booming from trade, and artists and artisans were hired from the Greek and Muslim world to teach how and to adorn monasteries and churches with art and sculpture. A school of monastic art developed at the Abbey of Monte Cassino, the protection of which cost so many American lives in World War II. When we get that far in history, I'll explain. Painting, mosaics, miniatures, and murals were beautiful and richly done, and stained glass was a high art form. Scripture came into its own as well, with angels, devils, gargoyles adorning cathedrals and depictions of biblical figures being created. The Catholic cathedral's creation was a special kind of art, often taking generations to complete. The Gothic cathedrals, as one style was called, with pointed arches and vertical construction meant to give an impression of height, are some of the most beautiful buildings ever constructed. There are several styles of cathedrals named by students of architectural history, and many impressive examples of the cathedrals still existing throughout Europe. Monks preserved classic Greek and Roman literature as well. Great universities arose in England and France, providing a nesting place for medieval thinkers like Abelard, Thomas Aquinas, Anselm, and Albertus Magnus. Greek philosophy, particularly Aristotle's, was a powerful force within the thought world of Roman Catholic Europe. The mixing of philosophy with religion, so focused on by Philo and Origen, found its ultimate expression in the medieval Roman Church. Skeptics, pantheists, and atheists contended with the church for possession of the European mind. Contact with Islam further increased the European interest in other ways of thinking besides the one approved by their priest. Two of the great literary talents of the Middle Ages were Geoffrey Chaucer of Canterbury Tales fame and Dante Alighieri of the Divine Comedy. And there are many more that you should be, if you really want to learn, the Middle Ages was rich in literature, rich in art, rich in study, scientific study, but the Bible was not viewed yet literally, and excuse me, it was more taught allegorically and metaphorically. Um, when the Reformation is going to produce an explosion of science, because it's sort of like a rebirth of, God did this. How did he do it? What did he do? And so science, it has its modern science has its great birth within the era of the Reformation. But still, the medieval period was a very great period of art, architecture, and thought. So I hope you'll dig in more and study it. We'll begin with gold, the Turks, Byzantine Empire next time. Have a few comments to make on that. And thank you for listening. Have a good day.